Hello everyone. My name is George, and today I want to share something that I believe the Lord has put inside of my heart to share to the world. And it's really something that in the past I've been quite insecure to share with people because it's not something that is usual in the Christian community. And on top of that, it's also things that are supernatural, things that can be very strange when you experience them firsthand. But after working with me and on my heart, I have finally surrendered, and now I've come to share to you guys everything that I believe the Lord has revealed to me in the past years. But for today, I want to specifically open this new YouTube channel with this particular revelation that the Lord gave me about the sons of God. Because we know that we are usually called Christians, but our proper name is that we are the sons of God, but also saints. And what the Lord showed me was in the form of a dream, because I am a dreamer and I have a lot of dreams. I also get visions from time to time, and I've learned to tap into visions, how to enter in a state to receive visions. So the dream that I had, um, I was in this sort of place or dimension, and in this particular place, there was these young people who were the sons of God, and these were people from my generation and also a lot younger, like 10 years old and younger. But this group of people that I saw, they seemed to be very special with supernatural abilities and powers. And I saw their eyes and they were glowing, and their faces were full of light. They were like almost transfigured people. And it also seemed that these young grew in that place, that kind of dimension. They grew there and they never left that place. In addition to that, it seemed that they were being exploited and used by these entities that were keeping them in cage like slaves in this place. I don't know if you have ever seen like these old videos or movies about slavery with black people working in these farms, and it was something similar because these young people, they were behind this kind of enclosure looking like a farm, and they had been there their entire life. And even though they were full of light, they they had more power than these entities holding them in under enslavement. They were still there out of kind of naivety and ignorance because they were not even aware that they were slave. So these youngs were like slave, um, with their powers being used by these evil entities, because remember that I said these young people, they had powers and abilities and that I've never seen before. But their powers and abilities were being used by these evil entities in this place. And these young people, they didn't know better and weren't even aware of the fact that they were slaves and they were being used. So I was observing the scene, and I just had a strong urge to approach these youngs. And even though the entities around, they were very powerful and evil, they didn't move, as if they couldn't intervene. So they stood there and just watched what was going to happen. So I approached the youngs and I felt a surge of authority rising within me. And I declared these youngs free, and they all started to to leave that place. They started to follow me and to leave that place. And as they were leaving, I had another urge of authority, and I told them that it was fine for them to grow and to become adults, that it was a law that they will become adults one day. And the what I was referring there, what I was referring there about becoming an adult, it wasn't about the physical growth, but rather a spiritual maturity. I was basically telling them that it was inevitable for them to become mature sons of God, that they couldn't avoid it. So they will grow eventually and become mature sons of God. And just like in the physical realm, a baby cannot stop his growth process. And so this was the latest dream I've had concerning this, and it was a confirmation of things that I have seen uh, about this about these sons of God and these abilities. It was a confirmation from what the Lord has showed me in the past, but also that I have personally experienced. But this was more about other people, that there will be this group of that there is presently this group of people around the world, these groups of sons of God, and they don't know who they are not aware of their capacity. So I will now go on to the next dream. So this next dream that I want to share with you, it's the oldest one that I've had, and it was in 2019. And in it, I was in this training center for prophet, and I saw a lady, and she was our teacher. And will this dream was very peculiar to me because inside of the dream it was very long, as if I spent months and even years. It was very long, and I even slept in the dream and had dreams inside of that dream. It was very strange. So inside of in these training centers, there were bedrooms, and we had this kind of gymnasium where with a lot of Christians, and to each Christian was given a prophetic gift, but a different one. And these prophetic gifts were very unusual and very different from things that had been seen in the past. They were gifts that have never been released on earth and never seen before. And there were many category of gifts. And to give you an example of things that I saw, for example, I saw one of the gifts that were being given to people was related to teleportation, and the lady was teaching us that there were many ways to use these gifts, but that the only limit was our imagination. So these gifts that were being released to people did not have any limit, but only the person's imagination was the limit. So whatever they thought they were capable of doing or with it, that was their limit. And they received a lot and a lot of gifts. And then the lady, later on, the lady came to me, and then no, she came to us, to the group, and then she started explaining that with our gift we needed to learn to think how to use them, because the only limit was our imagination. And as an example of that, she took the gift of teleportation, because that gift that she gave was very strange. The person basically could open a portal and then open another, like the exit of that portal somewhere else. And then she said that with such a gift, it was possible to prophesy at a long distance. And then she went on and added that with it, it was even possible to prophesy to the future, which I didn't understand what she meant by that. And it was just to show the extent of what we could do with it, that there were we didn't really have any limits other than what we thought was our limit. And where I want to go with this is that the Lord right now is trying, he wants to take his sons to a next level of maturity, authority, but also on of experience with him. And this is another thing that happened to me, but this time it was a dream or a vision, I don't remember, but it was this time God speaking to me. And basically I was listening to the voice saying that, talking about how the glory of God will start to manifest, and that people will see great things God will do through his children. And he was talking, for example, about young kids. And the voice said that we don't realize who we are, meaning that Christians don't really know who they are. We have an idea of what a Christian is, and it's usually a religious idea. But here, God said that his children don't really know who they are, and that in God, our spirit is having more impact on the cosmos, meaning the universe, than what we think. That we can be sitting there and our thoughts can literally influence what's happening on the other side of the universe. And then I was talking in the dream, I was talking to someone, and then I told that person that it's like being, I compare what was told to me, what God told to me, to being like Superman, and not knowing that you have all those powers that are sleeping inside of you. In other words, there are many things that we can do, many abilities that God has put inside of us that is sleeping inside of us, and we are not making use of them. And this is mainly because of religion, that we have been crippled and held back from the potential that God has put inside of us. And right now I want to share the last dream with you. And in this dream, what I saw was a baby, an unborn baby. He was unborn, but he was outside of the belly of the mother, but he was still linked to the mother through the umbilical cord. And that baby was basically preaching. He looked like maybe a 6 month unborn baby, the size of a hand, very tiny. And he was preaching, and what I saw is the baby was floating and basically levitating. And when I saw that, I I realized in the dream I had the knowing, the knowledge that what he was doing, floating and flying around, this capacity or this capacity are innate to every human, and that these things are inside of the human body, but only few people have managed to tap in this capacity, in these abilities that God has put inside of us, and that every man and woman has inside of them these powers and these abilities, even maybe put inside of our DNA, but we are not aware of them, and we never tried to tap inside of them other than few people. And these people, we usually end up seeing them as great men of God, people who are doing things that seemed impossible to us, but but which in the eyes of God is pretty should be pretty normal for mankind to do. And the reason why I share these things, um, is just to open you about, is just to give you a kind of a sense of direction of this, where this channel is going to be, because it's going to go, because I'm going to share a lot of things that the Lord has showed me, a lot of things that you will be able to practice also in your private time with the Lord, as and that will help you grow your spirit and also experience more of the supernatural and walk in it daily. Um, as for me, I've been some people you call it being a reborn Christian, something like that. I've been that for maybe 4 years or 5 years. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's not really about how many years I've been with the Lord, and it's not also about how the the things that I experience. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily more mature than you. It's just that I've been open towards the Lord to take me to places that I've never seen before or heard before about. And He took me to these places, and now He wants me to share it to the world so that you guys can also experience similar things and even more. And this will be all for this, that will be all for these videos. And I bless you all, and wish you to have a good day.